Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask the following two questions of all nominees before any of the committees on which I sit to ensure the fitness to serve. So I'd like the responses starting from Mr. Hurst, and then we'll go down the line. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No.
No, Senator.
No.
No.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No.
No.
This is for Mr. Hurst. In April, you testified that Operation Epic Fury, better known as the war in Iran, had cost approximately $29 billion, largely driven by munitions, operations, and maintenance expenditures. More recently, independent assessments suggest the true cost is already over $100 billion when damaged aircraft, bases, and other war-related expenses are fully accounted for. What is the department's current estimate of the total cost of Operation Epic Fury, including the other expenses I mentioned?
Senator, during my testimony before this committee, I conveyed the estimate compiled by the military officers of the Joint Staff and the civilian comptroller workforce, unmodified. I don't have an updated estimate, ma'am, because I haven't been in the position of comptroller, but if confirmed, I'm happy to work with you to get that answer.
Well, all indications are that there's no end in sight of the cost of this war, and I think that this committee and the American people need to be apprised on a regular basis what is happening with this war, because prices keep going up with all of the other items that our families have to pay for. And I'd ask you, how do you expect that these costs are being absorbed by the services, and how are you assessing, or how will you assess the impact that this additional spending has had on readiness? At some point, the cost of this war is going to impact readiness, i.e., we have ships in the Middle East. They've been there for months. When they need to be they need to be prepared. They need to. Our shipyards have to ready them for the next deployment. So how is all of this going to happen? Are you going to be responsible for coordinating some of this?
Senator, if confirmed, I would be responsible for helping the services solve current year execution problems. Again, I don't know what the current state is because I'm not performing the duties of comptroller, but if confirmed, I'd be happy to help work to get those answers for you.
I hope that, Mr. Chairman, that as we go along, that all of our nominees who are not currently in their positions, or if they are, they're in an acting position, that they can be called back to our committee so they can give us the appropriate information that we are requesting. It is very frustrating to ask them what the costs are, et cetera, and the response is that we're not there yet, and so we can't tell you. So, in your opening statement, Mr. Hurst, you mentioned that your first priority is, to, and quote, to prove the fiscal responsibility of the department to the American people. Fiscal responsibility. At the same time, the DOD obligated more than $2 billion in non-reimbursed funds and over $2 billion in reimbursable funds, which still hasn't been paid to the Department of Homeland Security. And so as part of fiscal responsibility, do you intend to get this money back from DHS, and do you anticipate giving more money, reimbursable or not, to DHS? Because they have their own huge pot of money that this Congress just appropriated without any guardrails on their activity, and they are in the process of killing more people. Did you get the money back? Do you intend to get the money back from DHS?
Senator, when I was performing the duties of the comptroller, I signed a memorandum of agreement with DHS for reimbursement, and I held several meetings with DHS leadership about reimbursement. If confirmed, I will continue to pursue reimbursement for the department.
Do you know if they reimbursed the billions that the DOD already provided to DHS?
In my current position of Assistant Secretary of the Army for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, I don't know.
Again, Mr. Chairman, this is pretty frustrating. So this goes to the question I was asking you, Mr. Hurst, about ship maintenance, and I should ask Mr. O'Malley. You know what, obviously, I'm going to need to submit this question for the record, but I had concerns about ship maintenance as our ships are deployed for much longer deployments, especially in the Middle East. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.